wanted to, I had something planned in the presentation, but I must apologize, saying due to technical reasons and something or the other, we cannot have the presentation. But I do have all the notes here. It's a special evening in that it's not a teaching, but it's an opportunity for us to speak for a person. Now, with the exception of the call, no one's involved. Do we know who that person is? I'll give you another guess.
Jesus.
I'll give you another guess because the first one was wrong. Okay.
It's not wrong, don't worry.
Yeah, not completely wrong. Thank you. It's speak for Mary. All right. Now, some of us all, let's say all of us have had questions about Mary in our Catholic lives. Okay? Here's an opportunity for us to speak for Mary in that she interceded for us and our prayers were answered. Okay, so what it is today is speak for Mary. Alright? So what is it? It's exactly how we have for speak for Jesus. It's a testimony of how Jesus has been faithful to us. It's a testimony of how Mary has been faithful to us. Now, why would Mary be faithful to us?
She loves us.
Okay, that's nice. Those are correct. But why else? It's a very important reason.
She's our mother.
Okay,
She wants us to get closer to Jesus.
great. All correct. There's a very important reason.
God wants
So
us.
faithful to Jesus.
What?
God wants us.
Why?
To see Himself.
Yes?
He Himself honors her.
What?
He himself.
Yeah?
God is that honors Mary.
Yes! The crucifix hint.
He said, behold your mother.
Yes. Behold your mother. Yes? He said, man, behold your mother. Woman, behold your son. And from that point on, Mary is the mother of all mankind. Alright? Therefore, if you think about your mother, at some point, at least once, okay, in your life, you will remember your mother's role in your life in terms of helping you, in terms of getting you through school, in terms of whatever it is, you name it, your mother was there. Correct? So this is all about that. It's about how Mary has been faithful. She is the mother of each one of us. Not a general public, but intimately each one of us sitting here. Alright? Got that? If you're having trouble with that, no problem. We will work through it as a family. Okay? Now, another reason why are we having Speak for Mary today? Thank you. Spouse of the leader of the group. Yes, it's the month of May. Why do we call it the month of May? What? Why do we call it? Sorry, did I say why do we call it the month of May? Why do we call it the month of Mary? Sorry, I missed the R. So, why do we call it the month of Mary? Why do we call the month of May the month of Mary?
When the church is.
No, we say the rosary because it is the month of May.
No?
The church is dedicated to Samanto.
Why? Just rephrase my question.
Please tell us.
Yes. I will. So this is taken off xd3.com. Okay, this is a Christian custom, it's tradition, alright? Dedicating the month of Mary to the Blessed Virgin. It arose at the end of the 13th century. In this way, the church was able to Christianize secular feasts which were taking place during this time. Okay? Mind you, end of the 13th century, 12 something. Okay? Now in the 16th, by the 16th century, books appeared about this. So think Louis de Montfort, all these saints who were champions for Mary, and they wrote books about this, and they fostered this devotion. So by the 1700s, the devotion was already grown. Now here's a quote by Paul VI. Now as we all know, recently a miracle for Paul VI has been approved by the Vatican. So now his cause is going forward. So this is what he says about the month of May. The month of May is the month which the piety of the faithful is especially dedicated to our Blessed Lady, and it is the occasion for a moving tribute of faith and love which Catholics in every part of the world pay to the Queen of Heaven. Now listen to this. During this month, Christians, both in church and the privacy of the home, offer up to Mary from their hearts an especially fervent and loving homage of prayer and veneration. And in this month too, the benefits of God's mercy come down to us from her throne in greater abundance. I need to bring you back to what Jesus said to his disciples. Whatever you loose on earth is loosed on heaven. Whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. When the church declares this is the month of Mary, you can be sure that greater grace is in abundance to all of us who venerate or who participate in this. Alright? So they've dedicated the month of May to Mary. Alright? So that's the month of May. So what other reason would we have this? Why are we talking about Speak for Mary today? Because not many people do. And in a world where there's intense and fiery debates about Mary being the Mother of God, and why do Catholics worship Mary, and etc., 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 the list goes on. It's a very beautiful thing that a Trappist monk in the late 60s, Thomas Merton, wrote about Mary. And I want you to listen to this with an open mind. Yeah? And he says this about Mary. Mary, who is empty of all egotism, of all ego, free from all sin, was as pure as the glass of a very clean window that has no other function than to admit the light of the sun. Alright? I'm going to try something with you guys. Okay. No, it's okay. I hope I know. Okay. Now, what if I shine this at you? Right? Right enough? Can you see that? Can you see this? Some of you are not wincing. Can you? Can you see that? Is it bright enough? Yeah? Nice bright light? Okay. Okay. Now, when I'm shining, we've always handled torches at some point in our lives. When I'm shining it around, we're all happy that it's nice and bright, night light and all that stuff, yeah? Does anyone think about what would happen if I took a marker and just kind of etched over the glass of the torch? So in a sense, that is Mary. Mary is the glass just after the light. And Mary, being so transparent, so clean, so pure, has admitted, has been able to allow the light of her Son to shine through. So much so, and Thomas Merton goes on to say, if we rejoice in that light, we implicitly praise the cleanness of the window by saying the light is so nice and bright. So indirectly we're saying the glass is so nice and clear, we could see the light kind of thing, right? Okay. So, and of course, it might be argued that in such a case we might well forget the window altogether. Yeah? We forget the window altogether. This is true. And yet the Son of God, in emptying himself of his majestic power, having become a child, abandoning himself in complete dependence to the loving care of a human mother, in a certain sense draws our attention back again to her. The light has wished to remind us of the window because he is grateful to her and because he has an infinitely tender love. It is certainly a great grace and a privilege, and one of the most important aspects of this privilege is that it enables us to some extent to appreciate the mystery of God's great love and respect for his creatures. We are having Speak for Mary today because the Spirit wishes for us to know about her. Her in particular. If it wasn't for Mary, none of us would be sitting here. None of us would be talking about Jesus. None of us would be worshipping him. Yeah? So today we will have Speak for Mary. Just a few things to keep in mind. Now, we've often had Speak for Jesus, and we praise God in the littlest things and the greatest things for what he's done to us. Yeah? So try and not let it be if you had wanted to come and speak for Jesus, for example, try and not swap the names and say it's Mary. Yeah? Try in the sense, make an effort to go into it. Mary has helped each one of us here. Okay? I will tell you this because that is her very role. Her role as intercessor for us, for each of us here. She has helped us in some point of our life and is continuing to pray for us. Okay, she has never stopped helping us. So here we try and bring to mind any instance where Mary's intercession for us caused our prayers to be answered or our petition to be answered. Understood? Yeah. So try not to just force it or try and make it like, no, but I'm thinking now, you're right, it was very, I would ask you, this is very important, I would ask you to ask the Holy Spirit, the spouse of Mary, to bring to mind anything that will involve Mary in a big way. Alright? So, I leave the mic open now, okay, for anyone and everyone to come and speak for Mary.
think. This actually is something which happened a long time ago. Oh, sorry. This is something which happened a long time ago. When we were doing Behold a Mother. Behold a Mother was this musical we had done in 2000. Wait. 2000 somewhere. Okay, in the 2000s. And it was quite hectic. But basically I've done seven shows, I think, in all the parishes. Not all, but most of the parishes in UAE. Anyway, at the end of it, Eddie, who was a leader here at one point in time, he offered to take me to Lutz. Okay, and I heard a lot about Lutz. From some people who have gone here, and I jumped, but I didn't know what to expect. And I remember Vivek telling me, saying, Alan, because I left the last night of the final show of Behold a Mother. So that was the night we left. And I remember Vivek telling me, saying, Alan, if you need to rest. So we went for this 2 nights, and so we reached there. Because it was kind of very, very hectic with these shows. The first night I told Eddie, I said, Eddie, I'm sorry, I can't. So I just slept there. And so this whole thing of we need to go for this rosary and it's beautiful and you must go and I just let it go, and I felt so free to do that. To rest, and I slept the whole night. I got up very, very early in the morning, and I went on my own to drop and whatever. Anyway, this is just to give a preempting of what happened. Basically, I just went and I was able to be. I didn't have any intentions. I didn't have any agendas. I just wanted to experience. Now, one of the things which I absolutely attribute to that, it is a miracle in my life, because after that trip, there was a particular sin I was struggling with, and that got gone. And it's strange because I had not prayed for it. I had not specifically gone to Lutz saying I need to be free from this particular sin, but it is just. Basically there were various times I had gone for confession with the same thing, but basically it had just gone. There was no desire for it till now, till today. There's just nothing. So for me it was, and it took time for me to. I thought, okay, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months. I said, no, there has to be something to this, and then when I was kind of introspecting, I pinpointed to this trip. Because after that trip, just absolutely clean, gone. So yes, Mary did play a very, very, very big part of my life. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay again. Recently I've gone to Italy and I've come back on my own. So before leaving from here, I was very nervous because I was like, oh my god, I'm doing this trip on my own. And when I was coming from Brazil, we visited Our Lady of Aparecida. And for the first time, she was different. I don't know if all of you know, she's a black Our Lady, as in like, I'm not being racist, but okay. So I was very scared and I was very fond of her. I've always, ever since I've heard and read about Our Lady of Aparecida, I have a statue of her at home. So I was leaving. Now I'm so nervous. I'm like, okay, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I haven't slept the full night because I'm nervous. I just looked at the altar. I have altar kind of thing. I just looked at it and I said, okay, what do I do? I just grabbed the statue and I put it in my bag. I put it on my bag and I reached there and everywhere I took her, like everywhere when she was in my bag, even if I was traveling around, she was in my bag and in my hotel room I would reach out to keep her there. Before going to bed I would say, okay, thank you Mother Mary for looking after me, thank you. And I just want to say thank you. I wanted to speak for Jesus but I was not feeling, and then when Gustav said speak for Mary, I was like, okay, I want to do this. So thank you Mother Mary, thank you.
Hi guys. Like Jerry and also I wanted to do a speak for Jesus, but when I heard Gustav saying talk about Mary, I didn't know what to share, and then suddenly this incident came in my mind. I said it long back in this group. I don't know if many of you know it, but I just felt like I had to share it again with you all. This happened a long time when I was in my college days. I was in Goa. I had gone down in Goa during the monsoon season. And I like the monsoons in Goa when there are a lot of puddles. I just take my bike and just go down the road, and wherever there's a puddle, I just go zoom this puddle and it's water all flowing around. So it happened once that my grandma was not feeling well. So she said she gave me a receipt from a doctor's prescription and told me to get some medicines. And I'm going back from the pharmacy. And now the pharmacy is quite far away, and the beach is quite close to the pharmacy also. So it's just my habit. Like whenever I go out, I don't come back immediately. I just go roam around my bike, and then I said I'll go and buy the things from a pharmacy, and then I don't remember, but I think after the pharmacy I just went to the beach just to stroll around, just to see. And it was a rainy season. And then suddenly it became dark. And then I knew it would start raining any moment, so I just came back quickly. And then I just got on my bike, and then I was riding home on the bike. And on the way it started raining. It started raining slowly, and then it started pouring cats and dogs. And then I was trying to get back home with this medicine to get to my grandma. I felt like I couldn't go because I would be fully wet. And then as I was driving down the road, there was a small chapel just up on the hill. So I just said, let me stop at the chapel, and then I just drove up and then parked my bike and just stepped inside the chapel. It was a small shelter. And I just asked God to just stop the rain, but it was not happening. And then I thought, let me ask Mary, and I asked Mother Mary just to speak to her son and ask her to just stop the rain. And I decided to pray the 3 Hail Marys. So I was standing there, I just prayed the 3 Hail Marys, and then I just waited. It was raining heavily, nothing happened, 5 minutes. And suddenly, after some 3-4 minutes, suddenly it became lighter and lighter. And then the rain started drizzling, there was a bit of drizzle, and then it completely stopped. Then that's how then I could get home on time with the medicines to my grandma. So I really felt that Mother Mary interceded for me on behalf of me to Jesus, and then how the rain stopped. And whenever I'm here in Dubai, whenever I go home, go to work and come back from work to home, I make sure that I always have my rosary in my pocket. That's how she always saves me on the way. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Priya. Okay, so when Christopher and we were going through this entire issue of the court and all that mess after we got married, so a lot of people told me that we are praying for you, and you should pray to Jesus. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And there were very few people who told me that why don't you pray to Mary? And I used to never pray to Mary a lot. Like very rarely would I, while saying the litany, I would say pray for us. But that was it. But not more than, literally like looking up to her and like talking to her, praying for her. So I started praying I started praying to Mary, and so she really helped us. She really helped discipline throughout this time, and I want to thank Mary so much for that. Yes.
Hi guys, Loiston. When I say any prayer, it's like it goes systematically. It's like God, then it goes to Jesus, then it goes to Mary. And believe me, I do this every time. Even after Mass, I make sure that I go to the grotto every time. And you don't believe, I'm in sales, so prayers are a big part of my sales strategy. I'm serious, yeah. And so every time I'm through this road, yeah, and if I do not have a colleague or someone, I park my car here. I don't put the receipt because I'm not too long. I just come to the grotto, I pray for my sales targets, and if there is a meeting for that too. And this time, actually, 2 weeks back, one of my close friends, he's working for Deutsche Bank in Bombay. Now they have exams which you have to pass, otherwise, 10 days it starts affecting your job line because if you don't pass those exams. So he failed the first one, and then he was getting tense. So he asked me, "Don't worry, I'll pray for you." And I did that week, and I forgot about it. Actually, I wished him luck, and I forgot about it. So then about 3-4 days back, he called me and he's like, "Dude, I got through, and thank you for the prayers." And I just thought about it, so it's nothing particular as such, but everything that happened in my life, like I said, it's 3 stages. So thank you, Mary, for that. Thank you.
I can't remember how small I was when this happened. I think I was 8 or 9. One evening, some of you all know the story. You're already laughing. But one evening I started complaining of severe stomach pain. Severe, as in I couldn't understand. So the normal thing is my mom would give me body shape and jeera and all sorts of home remedies, and then go and sit in the toilet. Sit and sit. Okay, come out, you feel a little better. But the pain just couldn't go, it just wouldn't go, it was severe. And there was some party happening at home, so everyone was busy. And I was already in the toilet. But at around 8 or 9, I came out, I felt a little better. And I kind of went to sleep. She gave me a painkiller and I went to sleep. Next morning, I wake up and I find myself in the hospital with 2 pipes in my nose, 2 needles in my hand. I'm like, okay, what happened? So apparently I was crying of severe pain in the night. They took me to the doctor and they admitted me to the hospital because they couldn't figure out. And in the next day they did some X-ray and they found out that there was something round stuck in my intestine. So they asked me what did I eat the previous, and I said I had a guava. So apparently I had swallowed a guava and that's got stuck in my intestine. Like a small part of the guava. Okay, and to speak for Mary. So, anyways, I was in hospital for 2-3 days and it was superb. We had people coming, flowers, jelly. The food was amazing. Everyone was like, Baba, are you okay? Okay. But I was to be operated. And a day before I was to be operated, my mom was extremely worried because they didn't, at such a young age, they didn't want me to get operated on my stomach. So my mom, she told me much later, recently, I think 4-5 years back, that my mom went down on her knees and she told Mary, please save him from this operation, and if you do, I will see that he serves you when he grows up, and serves Jesus when he grows up. Now, I knew this much later. The next day, she asked my family doctor, see if you can do something, but to avoid the operation. And he said, okay, we'll try anema. You know what anema is?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't know something. I was too small. So okay, they tried it, and maybe in half an hour or so, I said I want to go to the toilet. My mom was like, oh, really? I went to the toilet, and I'm telling you, it was like almost like a bomb. My mom from outside is come out. But yeah. So the reason why I said is because it was a critical intervention that Mary had in my life, and eventually, without my mom telling me all this, somehow God drew me to Himself. The sad part of the whole story is that at a certain point of my life, I started working for a Protestant organization, and I kind of got carried away with their teaching about Mary, and just to be part of their, I kind of let loose of my devotion to her. I had a strong devotion for her. God had to take me out of Pune, bring me to Dubai, to a group like Come Alive. The first meeting I sat here, I remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, there's too much of Mary in this place. I think I've come to the wrong place. First meeting, I'll never forget it. Because I was so used to this Protestant environment that I felt uncomfortable when they spoke so much about Mary. But somehow I stayed because of Vivek. I came for Vivek, so I stayed, and somehow gradually through the meetings, things started speaking to me. And Vivek told me one thing. He said, Alan, no matter how much I try to convince you someone to help, you got to experience it. You got to experience Mary. And so I waited, and I just kept asking the Lord for help. God had to do so much because I was such a proud and hard nut that He had to make me the acting director of Behold Your Mother, the play that Alan was talking about. And because I was the acting director, so I'm not saying it because I was acting director or a director, but because as an acting director, I had to know every line of the play in terms of, because we had to practice it day in and day out. And every time I heard some of the lines, they would hit me so hard because they were just too powerful and just hit me. So God had to really break down my pride in that. And one of the things that I remember in that, I'll never forget this, in God, that Mary carried eternity for 9 months. I just couldn't comprehend that, and I still don't. Mary carried eternity in her womb for 9 months. So, post Behold Your Mother, my heart is kind of has softened up completely, and now my heart is sold out to Mary in a sense. I'm not as regular with my devotion, but I pray that I become regular with my devotion. But she has had several interventions in my life, and one of them being when I went to Lourdes. After I came back from Lourdes, I met Sandra and got married. So there's been some very specific interventions that she's done in my life. So thank you, Mary, for loving me, looking after me in spite of my rebellion.
This is again about Behold Your Mother. I think a stomach pains and they're very severe to the point that I sleep in the toilet. You know, this was that time. Yeah? So I would just sleep the whole night in the toilet in pain. I would vomiting one side or lose these one side. You know, have it month after month. I was just gone. And so the first 2 nights will always be bad. I know when this will happen. So now there was this Holy Mother Day, and one of the dates when the play was supposed to happen here in Dubai, it was falling on that date. And I said, okay, you know, and on that date, there's no way I can move, there's no way I can be out. You know, it's just impossible. You know, it's like as if I have to sink in the ground, something like that. So, so I asked our lady, I said, you know this date, and you know what I'm going to go through. So if you want me to be there on that day, it's up to you to deal with that situation. I don't know how I can keep my calm with the kids, because I was in charge of the kids. I said, keep my calm with the kids and not pass out or not throw up or not be in the loop when, you know, when all this is happening. So, and for the first time in my whole life, that was the only date I had no issues. I had no issues literally. You know, I was fine the whole day, everything was done, and I had no health problems. That's one. Recently, one of my colleagues, she's separated from her husband, and her daughter was being harassed by another bigger girl, you know, in school, and to the point that that girl would beat her or something like that, and try doctors in the toilet in Hyderabad and stuff like that. And she had nobody back home except for her parents, what were told. And no man is such in the house to go into this situation. And the thing is, this girl belongs to a family who are, you know, who are into some gang and stuff like that. So even if they go and speak to them, probably just beat them up or something. So they really didn't know what to do. So they tried complaining to the principal. And the principal would tell them, you know, I can't call those parents over. They probably, ruin the school property. So it's that kind of, you know. So then my colleague's sister tried to talk to that girl in the bus, you know, when she would go. Then the one when she was trying to put her daughter. Her daughter is doing 2nd standard, yeah. And this girl is probably the 9th standard or something like that, bullying the 2nd standard girl. So, and she's terrified because it's been going on for months, and she only happened to tell her family after like a whole month. So, okay. It's okay. Just be quiet. So, then what happened was, so she was supposed, now this one day, she was really upset. She was like going to the terrace and trying to talk to her family. And she came and told us, Adam, give it to me. She came and told us that, you know, I'm really worried because my sister's supposed to go. Yeah, so this sister, when she went and tried to talk to the girl in the bus, the girl started abusing her and, you know, with horrible bad words, which, you know, people wouldn't use. So, which people wouldn't use. So after some time, the principal decided to call both the parents, you know, and talk to them. And my colleague was very scared because she's like, I don't know how they confront my sister and, you know, the children and stuff like that. So she told me, you know, they're supposed to meet in another 2 hours time, and I'm really afraid. So I said, okay, you know what, I'll pray for you, don't worry about it, and things like that. And I started saying so many memories, and I tried to call Adam to tell him, please say memories, but somehow he couldn't get the message because he was at work. So I was like, okay, so, like, you know, I have to say the memories. So I was just, I don't know what I was saying, but I just went on saying memories till it was 3, and then finally I called her and I asked her, okay, what happened? She's like, you know, they came and met the principal before my sister could meet them, and it was a very normal meeting, everything was sorted out. They said, you know, she's like, we were surprised. So she said, don't worry, thank you very much. You know, so I just want to thank Mama Mary for that, because, you know, it's only the 2nd time of girl who would really know much. Like, I just want to thank Mother Mary.
Thank you everyone for sharing. In the interest of time, I'm going to have to cut short it here at this point because there is one more person that needs to share. Alright? Now, going to give any hints into who it is, but I'll say this: he was a great champion for Mary, right? And I have a short excerpt which I'm going to play. And I want you all to just listen as much as you can. Yeah, just pay attention. All right.
slaves. As a mother, Mary places herself between her son and mankind in the reality of their wants, needs, and suffering. Out of loving concern for others, she brings all mankind's needs within the radius of Christ's saving power. Towards the end of John's Gospel, Mary appears once again, this time standing at the foot of the cross. What more powerful image could the evangelist have given us of Mary's profound spiritual union with the redemptive mission of her Son? When, from the cross, Jesus says to the beloved disciple, "Behold your mother," he entrusts Mary to us, to each one of his disciples, to be our mother too. At the foot of the cross, Mary is fully revealed as Mother of the Church, Martha declares, inviting each of us to trust in her prayers. Let us never hesitate to turn to her. How often in your families do you feel powerless in the face of painful and apparently insoluble situations? The Lord for forbidden relief which now at no